LeBron is a Laker.
It gets you hyped and excited about the possibilities.
A seismic shift. He's a force of nature.
You got to give kudos to Magic Johnson.
He's not done trying to win.
That shared vision is what brought LeBron James to Los Angeles.
This is what the Lakers do.
Indeed, LeBron to the Lakers. Well, not entirely an unexpected move, of course. That is still a seismic shift in the NBA, putting a Lakers team, which had missed the postseason for the last 5 years, squarely back into the playoff picture. Keith Olbermann now tells us how the majority of Laker greats aren't necessarily from Hollywood.
As the old joke went among us honorary native Angelenos, nobody's from L.A. The Lakers importing LeBron is just the continuation of a tradition older than the NBA itself. Kareem, Shaq, Wilt, Kobe, Mikan, even Magic, even the franchise itself all got to L.A. by free agency or by trading players or by trading draft choices or by trading cities. Heck, the Lakers themselves are from out of town. They moved from Minneapolis, in the land of 10,000 lakes, and they only got George Mikan, the original big man, because another franchise went bankrupt. 5 titles later, Mikan retired, and the Lakers utterly collapsed. They had the first draft choice in 1958 and took Elgin Baylor, and the number 2 in 1960, and they took Jerry West. And those are literally the only 2 Laker immortals who never, at least on paper, belonged to any other team. But West and Baylor lost the NBA Finals in 5 of the first 8 years in L.A., and new owner Jack Kent Cooke decided he needed the modern Mikan.
He fires to Wilt, and Chamberlain dunks it.
Angry at Sixers management, flirting with jumping to the new rival ABA, Wilt Chamberlain was a risky trade proposition. Cooke took the risk. Wilt actually did leave for the ABA. 5 years, 4 Western Conference titles, and 1 NBA crown later. And the Lakers then again sank like a stone. After finishing last in the West in 75, owner Cooke did it again. Now he got the modern Wilt.
Abdul-Jabbar gets it in there.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar cost L.A. 4 former first-rounders led by Junior Bridgman. With Kareem and Magic, they won 5 championships. But Magic wasn't really theirs either. They got him indirectly through free agency. When the Lakers let Gail Goodrich go to the Jazz, they were awarded 4 draft choices, including a number 1 in 1979. In those days, the worst 2 teams flipped a coin to decide who drafted first. That coin flip was won by Laker assistant GM Chick Hearn. The Chick Hearn. So Magic went to L.A. and not Chicago.
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
From Mikan to Magic to King James, this has just never stopped. James Worthy only got to L.A. by a traded draft pick and a coin flip, or he would have been a San Diego Clipper. In '96, the Charlotte Hornets picked Kobe, then traded him to the Lakers straight up for Vlade Divac. 3 weeks later, owner Jerry Buss went out and got the modern Kareem, signing Shaq for 7 years and $120 million.
Can you dig it?
Pau Gasol got him in a trade. Lamar Odom trade. Luke Walton, now the coach, they got him 16 years ago as a future draft choice in a trade. Of course they have gone and gotten LeBron, the modern Shaq, who was himself the modern Kareem, who was the modern Wilt, who was the modern Mikan. Of course they brought LeBron to L.A.
He wins a couple of chips. Put it this way, if he gets a couple of those, they'll be putting a statue out in Staples Center for him, that's for sure.
L.A., where they brought the Dodgers from Brooklyn, where the NFL teams were brought in from Cleveland and Oakland and St. Louis and San Diego, where even the Clippers are originally from Buffalo. And now LeBron will be as much of a native Angelino as the palm trees. You do know they brought the palm trees in from out of town, right? And they brought the river to water the palm trees in from out of town, because like the old joke used to go, nobody's from L.A.
You do know those ornamental palms, as they're called, Matt, were brought to L.A. by Spanish missionaries in the 18th century.
Really?
That's what Keith is referring to. Just FYI.
Research confirmed?
Yes, confirmed. And this is a very interesting team they put together. A couple guys who can, well, actually get it done on the defensive side of the ball as well. Matt?
Okay, Hannah, thank you. Here with SportsCenter anchor Doug Kezirian, who is also a special contributor to all things numbers and gambling. In fact, you have a column right now on ESPN.com called The LeBron Effect on how this signing, him in that uniform, has just changed the scope of Vegas for good. What more can you say about what people are saying in Vegas about this move?
Odds makers are ecstatic on the potential profit around the corner with LeBron on the Lakers. Vegas is a Lakers town. I lived there for 7 years. I certainly know it. It's a mini suburb of L.A., 4-hour drive. So fans in Vegas are all Laker fans, and they just bet the Lakers for the most part blindly. For example, last year there was a prop bet at the Westgate on whether the Lakers would make the playoffs or not. The Westgate took over 100 bets on the yes that they would make the playoffs, obviously didn't sniff, and only one single bet on the no. On top of that, now they're getting LeBron, and here is the last 20 years, the 4 worst records against the spread on a single season. At the bottom, you see the Cavs. So the Cavs are the 4th worst record against the spread last year because of LeBron. Bettors just bet LeBron blindly because he's so great, but they don't realize there's a point spread involved, and that sort of levels the playing field. So when you take LeBron and you put him on the most popular team in Vegas that's going to be bet on, it's just a huge perfect storm for odds makers. And on top of that, they just are anticipating overwhelming bets on the Lakers this coming season.
That's the number I wanted to give you. 5-1 with the Lakers. That to me is absurd.
It's absurd because they think the true odds of this, if you remove all the bets that are coming in and the liability, the head odds maker at the Westgate said it'd probably be 15-1, maybe even 20-1, the true odds on the Lakers to win the title. So going back to LeBron now on the Lakers in terms of a per game basis, they said there's going to be about a 3-point tax on LeBron to the Lakers. So if a point spread should be -2 in a vacuum, it's going to be -5, and the bettors are still going to bet the Lakers at maybe 3 or 4-1 ticket count ratio. So the Vegas bookmakers are excited that they're going to have that much of an advantage because bettors are still going to bet that LeBron tax.
Quickly, how much will it matter that LeBron is now a West Coast team, meaning that you're going to get late action on LeBron relative to what you may have had on the East Coast?
It's a great question. They're going to be the most bet-on team. So when you have the late game, it's something affectionately called in the books as the bailout game. So you may lose all day. You got the last tip of the night, and it's the bailout game. You go all in with your chips. And, of course, they're going to bet on LeBron and the Lakers. And they're going to be – it's just going to be inflated lines, and the books are really excited because they're anticipating making a lot of money because of it.
The bailout game – most people don't know this, but one of the most bet-on teams in college football, Hawaii.
The late game.
The late
Sunday morning game.
Nail yourself out on Hawaii all you want. Please read Doug's great
second half as well.
Oh, I love the second half.
LeBron is a Laker.
I am blown away by this contract.
Marcus Cousins, now Golden State Warrior.
I was pretty surprised to see this move go down.
And a Storm, Matt Berry back with you on Sports and more free agency moves. This one perhaps a little surprising. After 17 years, Tony Parker out of San Antonio, signing a 2-year, $10 million with the Hornets. Spurs wanted Parker back in a mentorship role. However, he's going to be big for Kemba Walker in a backup role. Greg Popovich said, "We are grateful to Tony for 17 years of truly amazing memories." It was quite a Spurs career for Parker, starting with his debut in 2001. Parker played 17 seasons, joining Karl Malone and Hakeem Olajuwon as the only players to play at least 17 seasons with one team before leaving. During his time with the Spurs, Parker recorded 6,829 assists, the most in franchise history. The only active players with more career assists than Parker are Chris Paul and LeBron James. With the organization like the Spurs, it's all about winning, and Parker did just that. He leaves San Antonio having won 4 titles and was named Finals MVP in 2007. Some other moves from around the NBA. The Bulls decided to match restricted free agent Zach LaVine's $78 million offer sheet from the Kings. Zach LaVine, $78 million. Swirl that around your cereal. Nets and Dwight Howard finalized the buyout, which makes him free to sign with the Wizards, and the Grizzlies signed Kyle Anderson to a 4-year offer sheet, giving the Spurs 48 hours to match.
And as you know, Carmelo Anthony opted into that final year of his contract with the Thunder. Now the Thunder and Melo are working on a way for everyone to get out of it. According to Woj and Royce Young, this will happen sometime this summer. It'll save the Thunder more than $100 million. It could come in the form of a buyout or the stretch provision or even a trade. So from a financial standpoint, this is a no-brainer for the Thunder. According to Bobby Marks, who you're going to hear from in a second, they would save a total of $107 million by stretching that contract. If OKC went into the season with Anthony on the roster, it would have had to pay a record $310 million in payroll and luxury tax. Stephen A. Smith now on where Melo might land.
The Houston Rockets are the team you need to watch out for when it comes to Carmelo Anthony. Remember, he was supposed to be there last year. If only the Knicks had taken Ryan Anderson off of the Houston Rockets' hands. Not to mention the fact that Trevor Ariza is gone. He's not going to be a Phoenix Sun. So if you're the Houston Rockets, you desperately need a Carmelo Anthony. Somebody who can shoot, somebody who ain't going to go 0 for 9 from three-point range, somebody who's going to feed better off of the facilitation of Chris Paul and James Harden. Not to mention somebody who's got something to prove. And oh, by the way, did I bring up the fact that in the city of Houston, in the state of Texas, there are no state income taxes? That would mean more money in Carmelo Anthony's pockets than if he went to Los Angeles, California, and had to pay those taxes. It might not matter to most of you, but it matters to him. Houston has the edge. It ain't a guarantee, but they have the edge.
But there's also some history that bears remembering. Between Melo and Mike D'Antoni, when they were both with the Knicks for a mere 13 months, Melo averaged over 23 points on 43% shooting. But, Matt, as we remember, that relationship did not end well, to say the least. Anthony gave the Knicks an ultimatum back in 2012 that the team needed to choose between him and D'Antoni. And then D'Antoni decided to resign after 4 seasons with the Knicks. All right, for more, as promised, we welcome in our NBA front office insider, Bobby Marks. So, Bobby, take us through the possible landing spots for Melo, and let's start with the Rockets.
Well, you're right, Hannah, and I think with Carmelo, it should not be about finances here. He's already made $260 million. But when you look at the 4 teams right now, we start with Houston. There is a glaring need at power forward. Ryan Anderson is the lone forward on that team. They lost Trevor Ariza. Luke Baumute is a free agent, but you made a great point. What is the relationship between Mike D'Antoni and Carmelo Anthony, and can those two sit down and kind of hash out old differences? And Miami is a possibility based on a need at forward. The long shots, I would say, are the Lakers and the Wizards there. I would be hard-pressed to see him in a Laker uniform.
Even though the Lakers certainly could use a shooter at this point, Melo would seem to be a good fit, at least from a basketball standpoint. What would be the key for him, though, no matter where he ends up, Bobby?
Well, I think it has to be accepting his role. And I think when he eventually is waived here, that's going to be the conversation. If I am Mike D'Antoni or Eric Spoelstra in Miami, is to have a conversation with Carmelo as far as figuring out what his role is going to be. And that's a 20 to 25 minute a night player, likely coming off the bench. The best of Carmelo years are behind him right now. But I don't want to go out and sign him and promise him something that I can't guarantee him.
Has a lot of friends around the NBA, and some of those teams that you mentioned, it'll be very interesting for a guy who averaged a career low just over 16 points a game last season. Thanks, Bobby. No.
Summer League.
Rein it in. Rein in the swagger.
We prefer Vegas anyway. There's Ayton, his first night as a pro. Summer League in Las Vegas. First offensive possession of the game. How about a double team right out of the gate? That's why. Little turnover there, but this is why they do the double team here in transition. Alley-oop, good high handoff. They've got a young core. Josh Jackson, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. Mikal Bridges also played well in this one. Second quarter, Ayton holding his own defensively. It talked about in the game about these being grown men down there. He's going to have to hit the weight room. You, sir, are a grown man yourself. 10 points, 8 rebounds. Suns win 92-85. The road to the championship started last night, Hannah.
Yeah, it could be fun, though. Right?
Yeah, I'm excited again.
Fun back in Phoenix. All right, Cavs, Wizards. We'll know how much fun it's going to be for the Cavs this season, but Colin Sexton was enjoying it last night, wearing Kyrie Irving's old number and his new sneakers, the Kyrie 4s. So here we go. Here's a look at the future of the Cavs. Sexton draining the long three. His first bucket. Not a bad way to start. Here in the paint. Flex. Okay. A few possessions later. Puts it in. Yeah, a little pull-up jumper here. So, yeah, he's looking pretty good. Not a bad debut, except for this. Creating some contact. And you got to look closer at that play because he actually twists his left ankle. Ooh. See that? Oh, that hurts. James Posey decided to take him out of the game. He returned in the fourth, though. 15 points, 7 boards, and the Cavs win 72-59.
This college coach at Alabama, Avery Johnson, loves his potential. What about Mo Bamba, the one and done from Texas, 6th overall pick for the Magic? Bamba knocks it. He's got that shot. Don't let that stretch fool you. Top of the key later. Magic in transition. Rodney Purvis to Bamba for the lay-in. And Magic head coach Steve Clifford already impressed with Mo.
He's very bright. He's a good learner. He has a ton of questions. And he has the right attitude to make quick improvement and figure this game out quickly.
We want some Mo in-game adjustments. Bamba gets blocked, catches it in the paint, shot, decides he's going to have to tweak that a little bit. So what's he do underneath? Makes a tough catch. That's how you finish it. Much taller than everybody else, but stronger than everybody else. Finish with the dunk. Bamba also made strides on the defensive end as well in the fourth, loses side of the ball, and he's late trying to block Jordan McLaughlin. So then Bamba made another adjustment. This time he's there to get Theo Pinson. For his effort, 11 points, 7 rebounds, and a block. Mike Schmidt with more on Summer League.
Day one of Vegas Summer League, 3 guys really stood out to me. First, Indiana's Aaron Holiday had 23 points against the Houston Rockets, looked every bit of a draft day steal at a position of need for the Pacers, made shots off the bounce, off the catch, got to the rim. Really nice day for him. Then Mikal Bridges of the Phoenix Suns had 14 points on only 6 shots, shot the ball really well from 3, defended, made plays off the ball. And then lastly, Furkan Korkmaz, former first-round pick of the Philadelphia 76ers, had 40 points on 18 shots. Looked like a future threat next to Ben Simmons, shooting off the catch.
Mike, thank you. Kings and Suns beat Vegas tonight, which features DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley. Both were top 3 recruits in 2017 before they ended up going 1-2 in June's draft. Looking ahead to next season, only Luka Doncic has better odds to win Rookie of the Year than Ayton and Bagley.